Hello, 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 Reshena. Hello, Elijah. How are
Hi,
y'all doing over there in the great land of Africa? So
we
excited.
doing great. We are doing great. We're really excited to stream live here from Africa. We are in
Mali, the city of Bamako, which is the capital.
You're sounding a little, y'all hear that?
Copy.
Can you hear
Is it
it?
better now?
Say it again. Say something, Elijah.
I think I hear whatever you hear. Yeah, the sound isn't coming through
The
good.
sound changed. Mm-mm.
Let's try to move on. Okay, what about now?
We still sound static. It didn't sound like that a few months ago.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, much better. Much better. Much
Okay,
better.
okay. Okay, so what did you say, Mom?
I said I'm excited to hear what you guys are doing. We are gonna just chit chat for a little while. I'm trying to see if anybody's gonna be able to join us on this live stream. Right now, I see Mindset Makeover. That's me, and I see Coach PBJ. That's me. I know that other people is logging in. Hold one second. I'm figuring this thing out as we go,
Well,
y'all.
somebody messaged me that the sound was bad, so I think that people are logged in, maybe on
Okay, I see Denise Riley. Hey, Denise,
I don't
thank
know.
you for tuning in. Yeah. So tell me, Sheena, tell me, Elijah, I have a couple of questions for you guys, but first I want to open up in a word of prayer. Hey, Tony. Tony said he's in. And just as we get ready to get started, y'all know that anytime, Elijah, I can get to my youngin in less than an hour. All of the emotion, you like. So, but I'm grateful to see that you guys have made it there safely, and I'm extremely grateful to see some of the footage that you guys have been showing. Seem like Reshena she's gonna come back a changed person, huh?
I think so.
I will say that this experience has changed my perspective on life. It has changed my perspective on living. Um, I will say that I feel that though I am coming back a new person with a new perspective and a new mindset that I gained while being here.
Okay. So there seems to be a little delay, but you are in Africa. So
Delay.
yeah,
We are in Africa.
right. You
And
know
in
what time?
being in complete transparency, it's 8:03
803.
p.m. right now in Africa. But one of the luxuries that we take a great advantage of in the United States.
Well, let's clarify, because Africa's a continent. We're in
We're
Mali.
in Mali.
It's
This is
803
true.
in Mali.
Yes, that's
Educators,
true. It's
educators,
8:03
Elijah.
in Mali because there are other parts.
You said what now?
I said educators, educators.
Oh, yeah.
So what are you gonna enlighten us
What were
on?
you
Okay,
about to say?
I don't know.
I couldn't hear you. What'd you say, Miss Paula?
I said it's 8 o'clock there, and Sheena was getting ready to say something in Mali and what is going on in Mali right now, 8 o'clock.
Oh, I was saying, oh, in complete transparency, in this particular country, in Mali, one of the luxuries that we take advantage of in United States is having unlimited electricity. And here in the country of Mali, they go through what do you call it, blackouts or
Yeah,
power outages.
yeah.
They have power outages, which can happen at any time, at any moment, and any day. And we actually are in the middle of a power outage right now as we speak. So,
And the power outage is a result of the independency between Mali and French. So for the longest, the French were supplying a huge amount of power to Mali, but Mali is now has taken action to be like extremely independent and has like kind of kicked the French out. And so now that they're in the process of figuring out how to manage power and run power on their own. So these are the things that they're uh, the growing pains of being an independent country,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah. So similar to life and a lot of stuff that we're experiencing here in America is that sometimes leaders make decisions and we don't always think them all the way through. And we learn as we go, right? And that's not always a bad thing, but it's not always a good thing. Okay. So let me ask you this, Tina and Elijah, what inspired you both to embark on this journey to create a documentary that showcases Africa's rich history and culture?
You said what inspired us both to do what?
To take this journey, to go do this documentary. What made you want to do that?
Well, honestly, for me, Elijah has a different perspective on this question than I would have. But actually, what started the idea of this project is Elijah is African American. His father is Malian. His mom is American, and we were kind of just talking one day about like what that means. How a lot of us call ourselves or identify ourselves as Black people in America as African Americans, but then I meet somebody like him who's like actually African American, and just dissecting the difference, and then me realizing like, wow, like you can trace back your lineage to all the way down to the village that your family is from, and somebody like myself, I was curious to see how far back like me and my family could trace, and I think the furthest we got back was my grandmother's great great grandmother, and nobody really had information or history beyond that. So that's what sparked me to come to start this journey, to see, what I could learn, what I could experience, or what could what knowledge I can gain from being here. And I must say that although I did not have a lineage here that I could trace back directly, I think the people in this community have definitely made me feel like this is a place of home.
Yeah. Have you found a husband since you're there?
I did not find a husband yet, but the roster is. We got options. Let's say that.
Have you found me some land to build my house? No, seriously. So Sheena, I know. So including you, Elijah, what is your perspective? What made you want to go back to that part of your heritage to take this journey?
For me, it was more of like a real personal thing. Um, Me and my pops, like we haven't always had like the best relationship. Like we cool, but we haven't always had the best relationship. And I think a big reason for that is because I've never really put the effort into like really exploring where he's from in his country, and that's extremely important. As I learned here in this culture here in this particular Malian culture, like your son is supposed to know everything about you, everything about your culture, everything about the traditions. I think Sheen would testify that like traditions and culture like trumps everything here. Whereas like I feel like in the U.S. we say we like got a lot of culture, but it's different. Like here they really follow it. Like they follow it to the code. Like that's their pride. Like, that's everything. So this trip most definitely has helped me and my father's relationship. I think we have a better understanding of each other. Oops. It helped us. It's helped us really like get to learn each other.
You guys are popping up again. Is the phone moving? What's going on?
One second, we having technical difficulties over here.
But it's okay. Y'all in there. Hey, it is what it is.
There's a lot of text messages coming through, and I think that's interfering with the connection.
Okay, so you want to try to log on maybe? Can you, can you turn that off so that you can't be disturbed?
I just tried do not disturb, so let's see. Okay, let's see if that helps. Is that better?
Say something.
No?
Because it wasn't like that when we did our test a few months ago.
Now is it better? Is it better now?
It still sounds a little robotic, but it's a little bit better. Are you able to do it on your phone?
Hold on 1 second.
I think they're going to go out and come back in. Guys, if you have questions or anything that you would like to ask Reshena and Trey Elijah, Reshena and Trey, while we work on these technical difficulties, just put them in the chat and I will definitely make sure I ask those questions to them. I think they're coming back on. Reshena, you went off and came back?
Okay.
Worse.
Hold on 1 second.
Y'all must have something to say. Say something, Reshena.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Guys, they're in a black and is a little unstable. She had to get on with her phone because the computer would not let her on at all. So we're going to finish this thing out. We're going to figure it out. Yeah. But I am so excited. So again, if you have any questions, we are live broadcasting from Mali, and it is now after 8 o'clock there. Denise Riley says, love Sheena and the mission. I always send blessing. Thank you, Denise. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Gloria. Yeah. I tell you, my daughter is very, very adventurous. She does things that I never would have imagined doing. So I love watching her explore life. And I think I put some of the footage that she shared with me. They left again, so she'll be back. Out there on the internet, some of the videos, and she just went in and she just fit right at home. I talked to them earlier today, and they were at it's Rochelle coming from Denise Ryder. Hey, Rochelle. So she was at Renee. She was at Elijah's auntie house, and house looked just like ours, y'all. It was a really nice house, and she was telling us his auntie was saying that they had went out the day before to a festival, and she had to walk for like 10 minutes, and she was exhausted. So where they live, they actually have help. They have housekeepers, and the wives doesn't have to do anything. They don't work, and their husbands provide them maids to help with the day-to-day chores, and anything the wives want, their help go get it. I'm like, Sheena, can you bring a couple of them home with you, please? Can you put them in your suitcase? Because I would love to have that. So let me call her on her phone and see what's happening, and we'll get her back on. So thank y'all for your patience. And let me see. Oh, there she is. Okay. Okay. You see? There you go.
Okay, can y'all hear us okay?
Much better.
Okay, great. Glad we figured that out.
Yes. Okay. So Rochelle wants to know, are you going to Cape Coast?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. Rochelle wants to know, are you
Yes.
going to Cape Coast? Yes, they are going to Cape Coast. Okay. So Elijah, I'm sorry, we lost a little bit about what you were saying about what inspired this journey. It may be a little lag, Sheena.
Okay.
Dang, I forgot. But
Start from the top.
I mean, yeah, essentially, this it really wasn't supposed to be a film. Like I was gonna go anyways. I had in my mind that I was going to Mali because my aunt had passed, and then when she passed, it kind of just like brought a reality to me, like that's gonna be my father one day. And I realized that me and my father didn't have the relationship that I wanted us to have. And then so I started doing some reflecting as to like why, and it was like a big reason or a big part of it was because I didn't really get the chance to know his culture. I'm a big believer that culture kind of forms relationships, and it kind of the way people think, can affect the way people get along. I feel like most of the problems in the world come from misunderstanding or not understanding each other. So I feel like that's the reason why me and my dad, a lot of times we bump heads and we really didn't see eye to eye because I didn't understand his culture. I didn't understand why he did the things that he did and the way he did them. So yeah, that's what sparked it. And then me and Sheen was talking about it, and then she was like, "She gonna come?" And I was like, "Wait, we might as well like try to document it." And then it just went from there. So it really a father and son story, and then you have Sheena's story, which ties into the African American diaspora between Africa. So you kind of get two in one.
So tell me, walk me through when you got there and you went to your father and you saw him on this journey for the first time. How was that experience?
Uh, it's crazy because I was asked this in my interview, and it's like I can't really put into words what I really felt. Like the moment we hopped off the plane, like you could just feel the love, and it wasn't only that moment, but it was like throughout this whole trip. Like everywhere we went, kids came and showed love, and family members showed love, and the people that wasn't even family like show love. I think we got offered more food and water than I've been offered like in the states throughout my time of living. So uh, it was just a moment of I don't know. You could feel the energy. Like it's something you gotta feel. I can't really. It's hard to explain.
Don't have the words
Yeah,
to
like I don't have
explain
the
it.
words to explain it.
So Sheena, your first night there, you was telling me that how it felt. You felt the love as well, and how people embrace you. And Sheena, you also talked about they do a lot of eating in every 2 hours. Tell your audience about
They
that.
eat a lot. Well, first off, one thing for certain is something that I aspire to change when I get back home is the fact that they don't waste food. They don't do leftovers. They don't like if they cook. Once they eat, if they have stuff left over, they find other people to give it to. Whether it's somebody homeless, whether it's a neighbor next door, like they find people to give the food to. So no food is being stored in the refrigerator overnight. You know that they don't believe in any of that, and it's just food is basically I feel like food is a way that they kind of show love and show community. So food is a very big part of their culture here. um, but they wake up, they're gonna have breakfast. Not too long after that, it's gonna be fruits and vegetables. Like, do you want some strawberries or mangoes or bananas? You know, it's some form of snack that they're offering. But they do eat very frequently. But I think that that's because the culture, food is such a big part of who they are and kind of how they express love or showing that they care for you. Is kind of through food.
I know there's a lot of love because I think you went to at least 3 weddings since you've been over there, right? At least three
Oh my
weddings.
god. I've been I've been to about 3 weddings in a week. I actually turned down a wedding to attend a wedding today because we had this, and they still not back from the wedding, and they left 12 o'clock today. Um, but love is in the air. That's another beautiful thing in this country that marriage they're really big on like marriage and partnerships and stuff like that. So it don't matter what day of the week it is, there is a wedding happening in town all the time.
Wow, that's awesome. So Sheena, were you able to find out if there's any way that you can sneak some of those housekeepers in the suitcase with you? Because I got a couple of people on here saying, "Can you bring some back for them?"
Well, I was explaining to my mother. So what she's talking about is the another thing that I got to explore that of course Elijah wouldn't be able to explore is the womanhood, the woman like the womanhood this year. Um, First and foremost, like there is a certain you get to see a certain essence when a man is present. Women kind of have like a certain poise or a certain kind of togetherness when a man is present. But the moment that a man is not present, there's a different type of bond and community and relationship that happens when a man isn't present. They are very, what I would consider to be traditional here, where a lot of the wives are like they're at home wives. The man goes out and work. A lot of the men are mostly entrepreneurs. There aren't like a whole lot of large corporations that's employing people here. They all kind of have to start things from the ground up and figure it out for themselves. You know, so a lot of the women stay here, but unlike the housewives in America, where you still gotta cook, clean, make sure the kids get to school. I feel like what is like middle class and up, middle class and up. Most of the households have maids that does the laundry. They do the cleaning. Of course, like I said, food is one of the love languages. So a lot of the wives still prepare meals for their family and for their husbands because that's kind of a symbol of like love and community. But as far as the other household duties, very much get somebody else to do it.
Wow. Renee said, are the housekeepers married?
No. So the way that it works is once a housekeeper gets married. So again, like I said, they're traditional. So right now, the maids they're women that are not married, but once they get married, they no longer are a housemaid. At that point, they then transition to living with their husband, and they would be a wife at that point and get the luxury of the women that they've had the opportunity to serve.
Okay. Tony wants to know, how has the trip compared to your expectations?
To be honest, for me, I feel like I came to Africa having a certain expectation, and everything that I expected, I got something that I wasn't expecting. So everything that I received was actually completely unexpected. To be welcomed the way that I was welcomed, to just it's mostly just like, I've learned a lot about these people here. I feel like in this particular country in Mali, the people here are true representations of what it's like to live in unconditional love. These people don't have to. I don't have to. They don't have to want anything from me, but the outpour that they give to you just for you being is something that I've never experienced.
Wow. Wow. So Tony said that question is for you too, Elijah.
For me, I would say, yeah, everything kind of, how would I put it? Like the biggest thing for me is like I thought I was coming here for like my father, but then at the end I realized it was for me. Like it did more for me than it did for my father, than it did for our relationship. Like it really opened my eyes to like what really matters in life. Like here, it's not money isn't it's not gonna wow you. Like you go to in the States, you know, you can go to all these different cities and the buildings and all that type of stuff will wow you. And here that's not the case. But what's gonna wow you is like how these people really value life, like what really matters. And I think I asked a couple people here, like, you know, money isn't a big thing here, but everyone's so happy. Like kids are smiling, family smiling, people throughout the streets are smiling. Like everyone's smiling. They see you smiling. And a lot of responses that we got were like, we got something. We don't have money, but we got money can't buy, and that's love. Like love for each other.
Wow.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I took away from this trip is like everything isn't about money. It's about family, community, and how you can help each other. You know, like that's the biggest thing I've gotten so far from here. Is like money isn't everything. It's really what you can do for the next person and how y'all can stick together. Even from the way people live here, like live in family compounds. Like the family raises the family, so that way they can know what their kids are learning, know what their kids are doing. It's not. It's kind of looked down upon to send your kids for someone else to take care of. It's like you're supposed to raise your family. The neighborhood is supposed to raise your family. We came here. There's so many people here that raised my dad, invited us over, like gave us food or offered us food and stuff, like cooked for us. And this, they didn't know us. They didn't know us from a can of paint. So again, it just shows the real community structure that's here in this culture.
Yeah, it's like when we in America, we'll say it takes a village to raise a child, but like they actually have a village helping to raise the children and the family.
That's awesome. Karen says, Elijah has been back. How has the Elijah has been back? The bond between you and your father become closer. Has the bond between you and your father come closer?
What was the question? Was it how?
Yeah.
Has
Since
it?
you've been back, has the bond between you and your father got?
Oh, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is because like we got understanding, and the biggest thing I think my father really wanted me to know, it was like the Malian culture, because here you're first son. I'm the first son of this next generation, and so
Oh,
in a doc you'll see what that really means and responsibility that it has. It's not like American culture. Like it's different here. Like here we don't use the word cousin. That's a bad word. Like it's sister and brother. Like
oh wow.
so me it's a lot of responsibility that he wanted to make sure that I knew in order to keep this tradition, to keep this culture alive, because it's me. Like it's me next of that next generation. Yeah, like I'm the next chief essentially in this compound. So it was bigger than him. It was the whole family. And then when I went to the village and seeing how this isn't just something they're saying, this is something that they live. This is something that they actually not only preach but actually do. Like it really made me kind of just like, wow, like, nah, this is something I actually want to be a part of. This is something I actually want to continue because it's true tradition. It's not something somebody just made up and just said, we're going to do it this way. You could find a consistent answer throughout every generation of how things were done back then. So, um, like even now, like just small things like us just having a conversation, joking around, like just the little small moments that don't seem big. We never really had those moments. I'm like, we're going to get into it about something. But now it's more like, I'm not so on edge with him, like, because I understand the things that he's trying to teach me. You know, I'm being more receptive to what he's trying to teach me and understanding of what it actually means to be a Jada Suba. Like, that's a big responsibility that we learned here, not only from my family, but from people that have nothing to deal with my family. Like, they ask me, what's my name? Jada Suba. They be like, oh, Jada Suba. Like, their eyes get big. Like, you can tell it has some type of weight to it. So just seeing that, again, it just kind of like really resonated with me. Like, oh, this is something serious. This isn't like, you know, something to play with. So it's helped.
And just to give an example, because this was recorded, but one of the weddings that I went to, they asked me my name. So I know they speak Bamada and they speak French here. So as soon as I come in talking English, they'd be like, American, American. But I do know how to say like my name is. So when I went to the wedding, you know, I was getting introduced to everybody. I'm like, you know, my name is, and because like names is such a thing here, I was gifted the name of having Jada Suba as a last name. So I'm like, you know, my name is Sally Jada Suba, and the people were like, oh, Jada Suba. Like it was like a big thing, and these people didn't know. They don't know any of Elijah's family. Like they didn't know us at all. So it was actually cool to see that response. No, I was gifted that. I was gifted. I don't know if you heard me. I don't know if you heard me when I said Sally, but that's also too. They gave me an African name because they don't really want an American name. So Sally Jada Suba is my African name.
You know, that is so funny because even when you look at the Bible, throughout the Bible, names had weight. And it's just unfortunate that we weren't really taught that because we just make up stuff. I know I made up names, and I've also made up my own meaning to y'all's name too, but names do have meaning, they have weight, so that's something else. Sheena, you told me about it. I know a lot of the stuff you probably can't answer, so if I ask you a question and you don't want to share it because it's going to be in the documentary, I do understand that. But you shared a story about y'all went to visit a king, and I really want to talk about the part when you say y'all came back and somebody was hungry or something, and tell us about that experience coming back after the 4 hours that you spent with the king. What?
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
So this I can talk about because we actually weren't filming during this segment because we had just got done filming for hours. Because we had been filming so long, like I told you guys, this culture they eat frequently. So if we filming for hours, they would have had a snack or something by now, and we hadn't had anything. So we were walking back to our car, and we were passing a home, and Elijah's dad just, you know, said that he was hungry, and these people welcomed all of us into our home, and they fed his dad. They didn't know his dad. They didn't know any of us. They offered us food. They allowed his uncle to, you know, have a space to pray. But these strangers, you know, opened their homes up for his dad to eat food. They fed him without question. Without food, come. And they gave him food to eat, water to drink, and offered all of us food and water to drink. And kind of like Elijah said, it's not like we was walking down the streets of Beverly Hills and we know that these people got it. At this particular location, is that considered a village? Mm-mm. In this particular city.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, it is.
In this particular village, like the village is what, can I like say a little
Yeah.
Like the villages are what you would consider to be like lower class. So these people don't have a whole lot. They're not close to the city. It took us like 3 hours. It took us 3 hours to just get to that part of Mali. That's how far it is from the actual city. So these people don't have a lot. So to see people who don't have a lot already just be open and willing to give whatever they have to a stranger kind of also too reads back to how selfless the community is here.
Yeah,
Wow.
just to add on to that, I think that's the big. Like, it's not the act that they were giving. It kind of just it's the act of what they were giving regarding what they had. Again, these families didn't have much. Like every dollar matters, every cent matters, every ounce of food matters, but they were willing to um, give it to a group of strangers just to welcome us and to let us know that we are like we're all family. I think that's the biggest thing I learned is like the selflessness of the Malian people. Like is something they truly live by. And Sheen can tell you like we see how hard these people work for just the little that they have. Like it's not a whole bunch of machinery to do the agriculture. Like a lot of stuff is by hand. Like they're walking a lot, so it's like and it's hot. Like the sun is very draining here. So the work that they put in for the little that they receive, it kind of puts them in perspective on how selfish we can be as Americans. Like for them to give the amount that they give, you know. So that was another life-changing experience for me.
And just to give you a context of like monetary value, $1 is equivalent, depending on the bill, but $1 is equivalent to $600 in Malian money.
Wow. So I can sell my house, move to Mali, and be a billionaire.
Billionaire, living the good life for real.
So listen, so one of the things before you guys left and you met with us and you talked about I learned a lot. I even learned who the richest man in the world was. You know, my little say behind would say Solomon. And I suppose for that time Solomon was. And I never even thought to think that there may be someone who even achieved greater riches. And what's the guy's name again? Masu.
Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa. And
Mansa
so when I
Musa.
look at his story, it's just really amazing because he's an African American. He's an African, not an American. He's a black man. He's an African. And one of the things that I read is they can't even put uh, um, they couldn't even put how much that he's made. It's like the number is off the chart, which is really crazy to me. And so don't forget, Sheena, while you're over there to check our lineage, because I believe that that's my uncle. Or maybe even my granddaddy. So check that out, okay? So, because I think when Trey did his ancestry, he's from the same place. So y'all don't sleep on Paula now. So listen. So what are some of the
I said Trey was 10% Malian.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So, Sheena, what are some of the untold stories or misconceptions about Africa that you aim to highlight in this documentary? What are some of the takeaways? Because when you were getting ready to film, you knew that there was so much more to us than slavery. And of course, with it being Black History Month right now, I think the timing is amazing. And of course, we've heard chatter that they're trying to take it away. But at the end of the day, you can't take away our story. And so what are some of the misconceptions? Because I told you a lot of times when we see pictures of Africa, all we see is the struggle. What are some of the biggest misconceptions that you've seen since you've been there that you're going to include in this documentary without going into the details?
That money is everything. That money is beauty. That money is power.
Wow.
Money is power. That material things is what makes life good. I think that's probably it's funny talking about it like on if you just took a picture, right? If you just took a picture of both countries, Mali, right? Like you would say you probably would be like, oh, one is way more fortunate than the other. But oh, places, I guarantee you, be like, well, maybe the other place is a little bit more unfortunate than the other. It just depends on your values in life, and I don't even know how to really explain it. Like
Yeah, I would piggyback off of what Elijah is saying. And one of the things that put perspective to me is when you come here now, if you go on TikTok and you look at Mali, you are going to see some beautiful things and some resort-esque vibes. First, you go to the airport and you look at the sky, and the most eye appealing place. It's not going to look like a place of luxury and riches. It's going to very much look like some of the things that you have seen online. But I think the story behind what is depicted is the thing. If, like Elijah just said, if you look at America, you just scan through, we all have houses, green grass, fresh fruit, all of these things. But a lot of people in the States are depressed. A lot of people are going through, fighting suicidal thoughts and ideas. Whereas in you come look at here, you're like, oh, like I feel so sad for them. These people must be miserable. But then you start getting to the loop of these people, and you like, they are so happy. Like for me, I would say that they're rich in living, whereas in America we're rich in materials.
Wow. And then when you look at the people throughout our history in America who have attained what we think is the greatest riches, how miserable they are. So D asked the question, is this a trip that you think everyone should experience? And based on what you're saying, I think that it is. Just to give you yeah.
Oh, absolutely, and that's something we're trying to put together now. I'll tell you a story. Like yesterday, me and my dad went to his farm, and he had forgot. Been a minute since he had been here. He forgot he needed to put more oil in the car, so the engine started overheating. He pulled over to the side of the road. Instantly, like 4 or 5 guys came and gave him free oil until he tried to pay him. He said, "No, just going about your way. We just want to make sure that you get to where you're going safely." Like that's the culture here in Mali, and that type of stuff you can't feel unless you're here.
Yeah.
Like you can't feel it. It's something you unless you experience it.
Yeah,
Like
you
it's
have
not
to
something.
experience it.
Yeah, like you got even the film. Like we're gonna do our best. I know it's gonna be a great film. You're gonna see a lot of stuff, but there's gonna be certain things in the film that you're gonna see our expression in our faces, but you're not gonna be able to feel it until you come here yourself and feel that same experience of our facial expressions. Like I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
And I think that the experience has been so good for Elijah and I, and just the feeling like it's almost like experiencing something. It's like, oh, I want everybody to be able to just experience this, even if it's just for one time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the quickest flight. It's not the easiest way to get here, but I would definitely say that it's worth it. Which is why me and Elijah have been talking about possibly like orchestrating small groups that we can help facilitate to come over to visit this country, just so that they can experience what it's like, because I do think just being here is life changing.
Okay.
I
So
think
can go
Molly
ahead.
offered. Like I think Molly could offer a lot of people a fresh perspective or a new perspective on life, like a totally different perspective on life, um, especially if raising a family or family oriented. Like this is a great country to explore. I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Other than Mali, what are some other places y'all have traveled to?
Well, this is the first stop. So we didn't even, within these 2 weeks that we've been here so far, we really only had a chance to cover like this much of Mali, because the countries are huge. Like it's not like America where it'll take me to South Georgia. It might take 8 hours just to get halfway to the other side, halfway to the other side of the country. So we haven't had enough time to explore any other countries, but that's why this is a series. This is the first episode, and in other episodes, we will be exploring other countries. So in this stop, Mali is our stop where we wanted to take the time, spend some time being here, feet on the ground. I feel like we both felt like we needed more time. So maybe we'll have to spin the block back to touch some places that we didn't get to touch. Some places were are not in the best state to visit it right now, like Timbuktu, which is here in Mali. So yeah, Mali, this is the first stop, but we have lots more countries to visit coming up.
Okay. So what significant challenges have you faced during the production and how have you overcome Will it be in the documentary then?
Look, that really, if we've been completely transparent, that's a whole nother documentary series behind the documentary. Y'all see Elijah in us smiling and like happy, but it has not been the easiest process of getting this documentary off the ground, which is how well, I feel like we both know and believe like that's the reason for this message, because anything too easy, or like when you're doing something that I feel like is like a movement, it's not going to be the easiest. You're going to have challenges from financial investors dropping out to crew members dropping out at the last minute, like name it, and we had to overcome it just for us to be here. And we still not done. We've gotten through the first part of production, but we still have post-production, which is the editing portion of just this episode, which is why another reason we're still fundraising and campaigning to raise funds so that we can get the second part of the film started, and to cover some of the expenses that Elijah and us paid out of pocket to get the documentary off the ground. So it has been quite a journey, but I feel like a journey well traveled is what I can say.
Okay. Then I got a surprise for y'all in a minute. But I have a question for you. So with that being said, with all the challenges, now that you're there, because sometimes when we're stuff, you're like, I don't even want to do this anymore. But then something will happen that makes it all worth it. What's the one thing that has made this all worth it for you so far? Both of you.
Well, I'm gonna let Elijah talk.
Now go ahead. You go first.
Because I was gonna say I don't think not. Well, go ahead. No, you speak.
I was about to say. I mean, no. Go ahead. Transparently, being transparent. Like, I believed in it so much that
it not being a thing was
not even an option. Like, if I'm gonna be completely transparent, that was never an option. Like, everybody dropped out that was supposed to help us, found a way to just take loans out to get the documentary started. Like, if I'm being transparent, it's because I believe it's that important, and not just because it has something to do with me, but because like us like as people, like I feel like we all can learn a lot from this documentary, and nothing has been done on Mali, and it's sad because like Mali has a lot to offer culturally and historically,
because there is a lot of stuff, like a lot of the information that we found talking to people, you can't find this online. It's not online. But the thing is, we talked to multiple different kings. We talked to different people in positions of power. We talked to some of the oldest people living. We had an opportunity to sit down with this guy who's 103 years old, who speaks well, walks well, talks well. Like you would probably think he like 60 or 70 years old, but this man is 103, and he has knowledge before the French came and colonized Mali to begin with. So being able to get some of the information, which is why I personally feel like when they did come to Africa to take slaves, stripping us from our name, such an important thing, because to know where we from and what was really going on is going to empower you. You're going to feel empowered, and saying the name or knowing what the name is, I think it was very important for them, which is why they had that as a part of their plan to strip the identities, because we don't need these people to really know who they are or the type of strength that these people come from.
Wow. So what actions do you hope viewers take away after?
I would say.
You was going to add to Sheena's answer?
Say that again?
Were you going to add another answer?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, if we had to do it all over again, I'm pretty sure we would. Like, I wouldn't, like, everything that we went through, like, is worth it. It's going to be worth it at the end. Like, that's how powerful the material that we captured is, and that's just me being truthful and honest about it.
Okay. So what do you hope people take away after watching Africa Told by Us? What are you hoping that they take away?
that's tough to.
Well, while Elijah thinks about it, I would hope that people take away understanding or curiosity, understanding of who you are as a people, or being curious to know where you come from or what your root is, because knowledge is power, and to know that there's things in your DNA that people don't want us to know for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I seen a clip online of Cat Williams just kind of talk about how ethnics that are non-black watch us so much. Like, you got your eyes on us and you go out of your way to try to like keep us down or hold us down, whether that's different things that you guys have in place, whether it being systemic racism or whatever the case may be, like always trying to not allow us to advance or find ways to keep us down, hold us down. I think that knowing that, or seeing the information that we were able to get or gain, that empowers you to be curious, to explore, to dive deeper into knowing who you are and where you're from, so that you can be empowered or understand yourself and understand how capable you are of whatever it is that you desire.
For me, I think, second everything that Sheena said, but I think another something big that I want people to take away from this film is that everyone is someone. There's a part in the film where I think it'll be pretty evident what I'm speaking to. Like, uh, every life is valuable, and every life has meaning to someone, and you never know what type of meaning your life may have to another individual. That's something that I want people to really take away from this film. And I think once it come out and it's done, I think people understand exactly what part I'm referring to.
Any more questions from my audience? Everybody saying they can't wait to hear a lot of wows, a lot of amazing. Tony wants to know how much funds is needed because he's gonna write a check. Oh, he didn't say that part though.
Well, right now we are trying to. Our goal is to reach $60,000, which we have blasted the Indiegogo link. Mom, I'm not sure if you can drop the Indiegogo link in the chat so that people can easily access it and click it. Again, this is just the first step of what we're trying to do. We have more countries to explore. And with us just coming to this first country and getting so much information, I'm really excited and empowered to continue to explore Africa, to see what else we learn, what else we gain, what other knowledge we have as a Black people, that can empower us to evolve. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys, and I just believe with everything in me. And Sheena, I'm gonna bring somebody to the stage who is really rooting for you and Elijah's success. And I'm gonna bring her to the stage because she was the inspiration in allowing and giving me the courage in 2016, like I had a say in it, but to giving me the courage to allow you to chase your route and spread your wing. And I just want you to know she's very, very supportive and she's rooting for you. And I know that we're going to be able to rely on her when you guys come back to the state and do some of the fundraising activities that we're going to be having. But she wanted to pop in and just to share with you how much she is rooting for you. I'm going to bring her to the stage. And you're going to know this person. She's not a stranger to most of us.
Hi.
You on mute. You on mute, Kiki.
I'm sorry. Hey, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah.
Clearly well.
Good. We're
Like
doing
a little
really
bit
good.
of a delay. I am so excited. I'm so excited about this. I was watching and I was like, look at Sheena. Look at Sheena. And of course, you too, Elijah. But, you know, of course, I know Sheena more closely. And it's just, it was inspiring me so much just to watch you guys share what y'all have experienced and how it almost feels like it's like biblical, like you said, Miss Paula, kind of the things that y'all have been experiencing in the ways of life out there. And I really wanted to ask just a couple of things, if you guys don't mind, before y'all go. Because you spoke about like how the women are and how the men are and how things are really traditional. I'm curious to know if it has changed your ideas of relationships. Like upon coming back to the US, do you guys think this will change the way you guys look at dating and relationships and how you want to date, or even how, if you don't want to date, if you would rather just do a traditional thing and find someone, get married and kind of hop it? How has that changed your idea about relationships?
I think for me, like it really just solidified the importance as a man, the importance of having a woman. Like we talked to Musa. Dang, I can't even really.
Can't really talk about
I
that.
can't even really talk about it, but I
Okay.
would say I'm trying to figure out how to answer without.
Schooling.
Yeah, like
Yeah, don't say too much. Don't say too much. Okay.
But it
I
has
would
changed.
say
The importance of
the
a woman.
importance.
Like I would say, to word it in a way, basically, feminine and masculine energies together, is the power. Is the power. So one can exist without the other, and the balance of both is kind of what makes everything works. Like,
Wow.
I know like life is so different here.
Yeah.
Like there's women who have like gone to school, went to, and there's no job for her to get because opportunities like that aren't in this country, because women, your job is to be a wife, which is cook dinner for your husband, hire your maids, you know, like that's kind of like, there is no such thing as you working. Also, too, another thing that I found was really cool is, like, I live by myself. In this country, a woman living by herself, it does not exist. It is not a thing. You live with your family in your family compound until you get married. And then once you get married, you move with your husband. But I think like the individualism that we have in America is not a thing here. It's unity. And I also feel like that could be our hindrance in our country in America, because I feel like we are taught us being individuals, that we've lost the idea of what it is to be a unity. We don't even know what it's like to be a unity, because generations that we know of had to get it out the mud for themselves. I can't support you because I'm trying to make sure I stay alive, and then my, you know what I'm saying? It's been such division, but I think that's one of the things that we're lacking in our community, why we can't progress and advance, because it's too individualized. We need to unify. But to answer your question about dating, the men here, let me
Let's get to it. Let's get to the
country, they have what you call a bride price. So when I first got here, his
Bruh, she over here just yapping. She answered the question already. She done.
So
She
basically, what I would say is they still don't know what that means. So
we don't.
What I will say here, courting a man will court a woman to show that he really wants her. That works.
We love that. We love that.
Yosha wants to know, are there any traditions that you see there still practiced in Black America culture?
That's good.
Now, what I will say is I can't go into too much because it is in the documentary, but surprisingly, there are a lot of crossovers. There are some crossovers that we do in Black culture unknowingly that is directly related back to here in Africa.
Oh, wow. I can't wait. Wow. Wow, that's going to be good. Wow. Any more questions? Tony says, we've been telling you to come home, Sheena.
I have a question from our friend.
Well, good news. I
think you went out, Sheena. We missed the good news, Sheena.
I was telling Kiki to go ahead.
Oh.
Oh, no. Say what you said first.
Oh, I said the good news. I think I have found home, and it's right here in the motherland.
You staying? You gonna stay?
Don't pay her no mind.
Not yet. Not yet. Not.
Okay. So our friend Duran asked, do you guys feel like slavery is the cause of a lack of unity in America amongst Black people?
I would say yes, but I would also say, from my perspective, it was a part of the plan and a part of the intention.
Okay. Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
No,
but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sheena, and again, I don't know if this is something you can share, but Sheena has told me quite a few funny stories since she's been over there. And it was one day, and I don't know if y'all can share it. If you can't share it, just say you can't share it. But Sheena did something, and your dad said, "You American."
Wait.
Something was happening,
I can't remember.
and he asked you to hold something, and you was like, "I ain't holding it."
Oh, I can't talk about that.
Oh. But you do the legs though.
I can talk about what
the leg crossing over.
Okay, I can't talk about that, but because that is in a documentary, and that is actually a major part of what we'll be talking about, Mom.
Oh, okay.
But I will say something here. So in America, when you take etiquette classes, they teach you to like cross your legs and you're a lady and things like that. So of course, me being in habit of doing that, when I sit, I just cross my legs. It is not a thing. It is not a thing. Everybody is like, why are you sitting like that? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, in America, this is called being a baby. Them ladies, they're like, girl, if you don't open them legs up, sit down, relax.
What?
So, I was to piggyback to one of the questions that you asked earlier was about one of the challenges. And my mom actually brought this up today because I have been, keeping in contact with my family, sending them certain videos and certain outfits and certain things. And the clothing here is extremely different from America. Now, for those who attend us art exhibit, y'all know I was giving body, because I like to give body. The body be bodying, so I be trying to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? But in this culture, ain't no body, okay? They like for their stuff to be loose. They don't want to show figures and forms. Having things that are very fitted or tight is considered to be, what's the proper word? Inappropriate or disrespectful. Not only to yourself, but to those around you. Because basically, it's almost like your body is a temple, and the shape and the form and the things of it is for nobody to see but your husband.
Yeah.
So, a lot of their garments, I'm actually wearing traditional African clothing now. Elijah and us did have to do like a whole, let me see what you packing in that suitcase before I left, just to make sure that everything that I packed was appropriate for it. So I would say that was one of the challenges for me, because even like, okay, I might have a loose skirt on, but can I put a crop top on? Because, but like, no. You got a loose shirt on, you have a loose skirt on. Everything just needs to be loose fitting. And the reason I brought that up is because actually, was that today, Mom, that you asked, or was it yesterday?
Yeah, I asked you. That was the day this morning. I asked you, did you bring out? Did you buy all?
Did you pack any of your?
Did you pack any of your clothes over there? You just go to shopping in African, just buy all African attire because.
And I actually, some of the stuff that I did wear is out of my closet, but I never wear it because it's very loose fitting, and I just prefer to have my clothes tight. So I thought it was funny that she asked, like, did you pack any of your clothes? Because I ain't never seen you wear loose clothes like that.
Wow.
But
so I think that was another big thing for me.
I think that it speaks to a lot, especially being an American, because unfortunately, everything we do here, or we see here from the time that we're children, is sexy.
Yes.
Sex sells here.
Yes.
And for the most part, if we're not showing our shape, then we're feeling like something is wrong with us. So everybody, we want to show our shape and we feel like that's how we get a husband, we get a man for whatever reason, why we feel like we've always got to broadcast ourselves. So to me, when you said that to me, Sheen, I'm like, they're really teaching their women to be Proverbs 31 women for real, you know, and to understand that you're more than your shape. And I have to ask the ladies of America, how is that working for us? You know,
Right.
it's not.
Right.
So now it's definitely something you would have to get used to because the clothes are loose fitting. And Sheena had on a shirt today, and again, it was a shirt that you would not wear in America, at least not with the bottom. But the shirt stopped right at her lower back. And the young lady who was in the space that Sheena was in, she kept coming by Sheena trying to pull the shirt down. And Sheena had to tell this shirt's not going in the public.
And the thing is, that girl is like 11. She's like 11 or 12. So she's been taught that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's already. She's like 11. Yeah. So it's something that's kind of like
on that shirt.
Here.
And it kind of speaks to the sacredness, right? The sacred idea of the woman's body and how sacred it is to be a woman, to have a woman's body, and to make sure we keep that modesty there, where it's like, this is for my husband only. It makes you more of a treasure almost. It's like everybody can't get this. It's, you know what I'm saying?
See this. Everybody can't even see this.
Everybody can't even see it.
For
right.
his only.
Right.
That is definitely a culture shock for us if they try to bring that to America.
Unfortunately. But
and it also too for me opens your eyes how normal being over sexualized is in our country. You know, like it's so normal for you to go out with panties on and everybody like, oh, you cute. Well, no, it's not actually. You know, it kind of just reminds us of what society has deemed as normal, but I think that it will be up to us as women to kind of take control of that narrative and not feed into what society is deeming as normal, but getting back to the root of being modest women.
One of the things I want to share, because I really appreciate it, and I don't remember which of the ladies there that said this, but y'all were in the meeting, and me and Sheena, y'all know me and Sheena play around a lot. And we're mother and daughter, but we also act like friends sometimes. And you know, sometimes she go a little bit across that line, but we cool. And Sheena, we were playing around, and Sheena said something to me. That lady did not like it. Sheena, you have been disrespectful. I'm like, yeah, tell her. So respect is huge there.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Respect is a big thing.
You know, what do you call me crazy or something? You said, "Mom, you crazy." Something she said, it was something really not that bad, but you call me crazy.
Like, oh, don't you ever talk about your mama like that? Are you like? And I was like, I just said she was crazy.
Wow.
So this is D had one more question. D, Tomas, can they have multiple wives there?
They can actually, in this particular country, they can have up to 4 wives.
It's not a country thing; it's a religion. Islam. The Muslim Islam religion. 4 wives. So Islam believes that you can have 4 wives, up to 4 wives.
Oh, so that's just
that's a religion thing. Yeah.
Are there Christians there as well?
It's like 98% Islam here.
Yeah,
it's a Muslim country. Yeah, for sure.
Muslim country or Muslim city? Is it a city? Muslim. What is Muslim? Country. Okay. The country is okay. Well, we are an hour in, Sheena and Elijah. This has been great. So thank y'all for taking the time. And again, Sheena, tell us a little bit about the fundraiser site that you guys are using, because it's something new. You know, we're used to GoFundMe and we're used to Cash App and we're used to PayPal and all those things. What about this new system that y'all are using, and why is it important for us to sow or to support you guys through that site?
I mean, I like Indiegogo just because it shows numbers. It can show like an actual quantitative number, which I think is important for projects like this, especially when you're trying to amplify it. And then one thing people want to see the numbers, like how many people are really supporting this, how many people are interested in it. So with Indiegogo actually showing like quantitative supporters and backers, I think that helps our case when trying to get more funding for future projects similar to this matter.
And just to piggyback off of Elijah, Indiegogo actually is a well-known and established platform for raising funds for independent filmmakers. If you don't know how to, I know it's not the easiest situation, especially with you having to like log into YouTube and this, that, and the third to view videos and things of that sort. But we do have links to our Cash App and to our Zelle if you feel as though fundraising through those avenues are a little bit more easy and convenient for you. Paula, I'll have those drop to you so you can drop them in the chat, or feel free to text or call my mom and she'll have those as well. But to you are in the space that Elijah and I are in as becoming independent filmmakers, what people like to see is numbers, which is why we say, hey, we're not asking for $1 million. We're not even asking for $100. Like, you wouldn't know the difference of paying $1 or $5 makes for us, because when we go into these rooms and we talk to these studio executives, they aren't saying, oh, Keandra donated $200 and Paula donated five. They're not looking at that. They're looking at the overall thing. They had 1,500 people support this project. They raised X amount of dollars. So it doesn't matter the quantity that you give. It just matters that you give. So that helps us in the numbers as well. So it's a game. It's a numbers game. And I talked about this at our exhibit, so I'll also talk about it now. For a lot of you people on this live, y'all probably know that I've been working in film and television since 2014. So it's been well over a decade at this point. And even when it comes to Black shows that you see online or on your TV or your favorite show, most of them is not people that look like us at the top of that. It is white people that are running that and benefiting off of our stories and off of our projects. So what me and Elijah are trying to do is not only take control of our narratives and our stories, because we're so much more and there's so much more depth to our culture and community than the drama that we see online, than the streetwalkers or the drug dealers, trying to tell stories about our people and our culture in a way that is also true, but also empowering, because we deserve that. But we can't do that alone, which is why we're asking for help. So if you guys could spread the word, send $1, we greatly appreciate all contributions, all spreading of the message to help us with this movement.
Well, we got 2 more questions from your audience, and then we will take last final words from you guys. One of them is Sheena. Okay, Kiosha said, Sheena, are you the brightest one there?
Yeah. So there are some other light-skinned women here. There was one, Elijah, we had to check somebody though, because somebody did ask if I was mixed race. Like, is your mama or your daddy Black? Or who was white, who was Black? And I'm like, both my parents are Black. But I will say, for the average person here in Mali, they have the most beautiful, rich, chocolate skin. It's so beautiful and just rich and pretty.
Something wrong with you. You think me and Tony didn't see that video of your security guard? We saw it.
Lani, call me, baby.
Next they'll be doing a comedy based on Sheena's experience.
So Tony said, what's that final number again? I think he said 60,000. Tony said,
our final number is 60,000.
Yeah. So any last questions or comments? Anybody want to get them in? And we'll hear the final words from you and Elijah, Reshena. I don't see any more questions. Let me make sure I'm not missing. I don't see any more questions. We got Without a Trace Ministry. Say hello to Tina. Sheena, she chimed in and she says, good dialogue. She looked forward to seeing the documentary. Okay. Asia Couture. So we got quite a bit of people on here. So we're excited for what you guys are doing next. So go ahead on. Y'all can close us out.
I just want to say I can't see everyone that's on here, but everyone that's on here, I want to say I thank you. I appreciate you greatly, the support. Again, this journey has been difficult, but it's been a great ride so far, and it's just beginning. Honestly, like the easy part is done now. Now the hard part really kicks in. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but again, I really do appreciate everyone tuning in. This is a very, very, very special project, not only for just me and Sheen, but I think it will empower everyone that touches or everyone that is exposed to. So again, thank you sincerely, and I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for everybody tapping in, tuning in. This live is recorded, so share it to your friends. Keep spreading the word. Keep spreading the message. We'll be continuing to campaign and to raise funds. Thank you, Mom, for thinking of this idea for us to even hop on to talk to the people, have lives. Kiki, thank you for jumping in with your questions and supporting us. All the support that we have from everybody is extremely wonderful and great. I feel like the biggest thing that me and Elijah are hoping to do is to branch beyond our personal network. So send it to the people that don't know me. Ask them to send it to people that don't know us at all, because I think that, again, it's the community thing, and with us being independent, we don't have marketers behind us pushing the way that a highly funded project will be able to get pushed or marketed. So we're going to have to do it as a one. And I'm hoping that with this project, with us learning what unity is, that we can also too be an example of what that is in America by letting people know, like, hey, Africa told by us really was told by us because it was funded by all of us, paid for by all of us, and together we came together as a community and made this happen. As we continue to tell stories, not only from Mali, but all the other countries that Africa have that we are looking forward to exploring.
That is awesome. One more thing. Was somebody saying something? I really just want to say we before they.
Sorry, but I wanted to say, if there is anybody that is on the live and they are interested in exploring this country in particular, which is Mali, make sure y'all drop a message in the DM so that we can have your contact information, because again, me and Elijah would like for other people to experience what we got to experience here, and we would like to orchestrate something to give you a chance to come here and spend a few days in Africa, in the motherland, to get a taste of what exactly we're talking about for yourself, which is outside of the documentary. So drop your information if you're interested so that we can have your contact. So as we start facilitating those things, we already know the first people to take that first trip to come back to visit with us.
That is awesome. I just wanted to share that before they left to go to Africa, they did a fundraising activity where they in North Carolina. Was it North Carolina? North Carolina or South Carolina? In Greensboro, yeah. And it was an art show, and it was a success. And I know that we're going to be doing some stuff here in Atlanta. So we would love to have you guys out, have your support as we try to raise money to make this initiative a success. Failure is not an option, so it will be a success because we're putting it out there. Elijah is breathing through this, and that's an inside joke right there.
Oh.
Are you breathing?
Breathing.
You breathing? Okay, great. So, stay tuned to more of that, and we're excited about that. Tina, I sent you a link, Tina McCrae. I don't know if you got it, but I was going to ask her to come on and pray to cover you guys, to cover this project, and to cover you, because you'll be coming home when?
Tuesday night. Oh, Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. Yeah, so we'll be praying for you guys. So I don't know if she got a chance to see that. I don't even know if she's still connected or not. So Kiki, since you're here, we're going to ask you to pray pray for covering with them, and to the success of this project, and of course for protection and safety as they travel back over the seas and back into the United States. Okay.
Well, everybody, we can bow our heads and close our eyes. Father, we thank you We thank you for being God, Heavenly Father. We thank you for being our God. And Father, I thank you right now for this project that Sheena and Elijah are doing, Father. We bring this project before you, Father, asking for your holy covering. We ask that you send your angels, Heavenly Father, to make all the crooked paths straight as they walk this journey, Heavenly Father. And we ask that you have your angels administer this project to everyone that is needing to see it, hear it, feel it, understand it, and believe it, Father. We ask that you, through this project, change the lives of everyone that watches it and that sees it. And Father, as they continue to journey in this project, I ask that you send angels to protect them and to keep their emotions, to keep their minds, to keep their hearts lifted, and to keep their spirits encouraged, Father. We thank you for this work. We thank you for the prosperity of it. And we thank you that it's already done, that it is a success. We love you, we honor you, and we praise you and adore you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Well, to our live audience, that is it, Sheena and Elijah and Kiki. If you guys will hang around after we end the broadcast. So thank you guys. This is Coach PBJ, and we're excited about what's next. And like Reshena and Elijah would say, send the checks. $1 would do. All right. Thank you guys. Y'all take care.